体験スペースアドベンチャースターツアーズ東京ディズニーランドから7月12日発信
Tokyo Disneyland opened April 15th, 1983. And what's really interesting is that Tokyo Disneyland isn't even owned by the Disney company. It's owned by the Oriental Land Company, and they have a deal with Disney to pretty much license out the Disney characters, and it's arguably the best Disney park in the world. Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo DisneySea are two amazing parks, and I'd like to share my experience at Tokyo Disneyland. Your adventure at Tokyo Disneyland doesn't start when you get to the park. No, it starts when you leave your hotel wherever in Tokyo that you are, unless you're staying at the resort. And it's trying to find your way to the park and getting on the right train and just hoping to God that you are going the right direction. So you find your way there, you hop off the train, and now you get this awesome experience of just walking towards the gates, and you walk past this huge gift shop. And it's just such a cool place. Like, there's all these cool little details as you're walking towards the park. I was really lucky, and I got to go to the park during Halloween.
さあ、ハロウィンの新しい世界をディランズがお見せしましょう。東京ディズニーシーのディズニーハロウィン9月8日から東京ディズニーランドでも。
As you went to the park, you enter the World Bazaar, which is Tokyo Disneyland's version of Main Street. And you'll come into a bit of a fork in the road. You can head straight, and that'll take you to where the castle is. You can go right, that'll take you to Tomorrowland, and left will take you to Adventureland. So I ended up going straight so I can get a good view of the castle, and I was also making a beeline straight for the Haunted Mansion. The Haunted Mansion is one of my favorite rides. I love the atmosphere of being in that ride. And it's my favorite ride at, normal Disneyland in Anaheim. But I've never ridden it with the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay, so that was really exciting. And the best part about being at the park when it opens is that if there's a ride you really want to go on, you're almost guaranteed to be able to walk right on if you head there as soon as the park opens. The ride itself, just really cool. It's awesome. It's the Haunted Mansion, just with Nightmare Before Christmas, so it's still awesome. After that, I headed right over to Pirates of the Caribbean, because the last time I was at Disneyland, way back in 2017, Pirates of the Caribbean was closed, so I haven't rode that ride since I was about 12 years old, and I was excited to finally ride it again. After Pirates of the Caribbean, I stopped and had some breakfast, and the food is so good. After that, I hopped on the Jungle Cruise. That ride is still awesome, just such a cool, awesome ride. And then I went to the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse, which is also really cool because that's what used to be at Disneyland back in the day, and then in the 90s, when the Tarzan film was coming out, they changed it. It's just really cool being able to experience the original treehouse that is just gone at Disneyland and will probably never come back. And it's neat that it's still at Tokyo. I spent the rest of my first day at Tokyo Disneyland just walking around, exploring, riding all the rides that I could. And I re-rode Pirates of the Caribbean over 5 times. I rode Haunted Mansion at least 5 times. Unfortunately, there were quite a few rides that were closed, like Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, Snow White. A few other ones were just closed, couldn't get into them. Then the next day, I went to Tokyo DisneySea.
New attraction Tower of Terror Tokyo Disney Sea.
So the next day, still raining, hop back on the train, and this time, going a little bit further, going to the drop-off for Tokyo DisneySea. So as you enter Tokyo DisneySea, you go through the entrance. You will slowly see the park sort of open up before you, and there's this big lagoon in the middle, and then off in the distance, you see the mysterious island and a volcano. The second I entered the park, I knew exactly where I was going first. I was going to the Jules Verne section of the park, the Mysterious Island. I love those books. I grew up reading them, And it's so cool that they have a whole section of Jules Verne rides at a theme park. My first ride was Journey to the Center of the Earth. Now this ride is so cool and amazing and immersive. Just take a look at this. This is still part of the queue. You're not even on the ride yet, and it's this immersive.
条约指数下的也开始了。
So you get off the elevator, and then you start loading into these cars. And that's when the ride really begins. I wish I had footage of it, but unfortunately I didn't get any. Just take my word for it. It's easily one of the best rides at the park, and it has a similar ride type to the Cars ride, like Radiator Springs Racers and California Adventures. Being that part of the park is so cool, but thankfully the park has so much to offer. They have a land dedicated to the Little Mermaid, to Aladdin, this whole Indiana Jones type of section, this old town USA, like sort of San Francisco, New York-y type of area. They even have their own version of Tower of Terror, and it's their own specific little version. It's not based off of the Twilight Zone or Guardians of the Galaxy. There is so much to do and see at this park that I can never do it justice. And the park at night is just beautiful. It looks amazing. I went back to Tokyo Disneyland one more day, about a week later, and I just made sure to ride all the rides I missed out on the first time. Like the Winnie the Pooh ride and the Monsters Inc. ride, 2 rides that are exclusive to Tokyo Disney. I also went to the Alice in Wonderland restaurant. That place is so neat. Just take a look at some of these pictures, and the food was so good. If you ever get the opportunity to go to Tokyo Disneyland or DisneySea, you should definitely do it. There's a reason so many people refer to it as one of the best theme parks in the world, and I would have to agree, and if you ever go to Tokyo, you should definitely put it on your list of things to do.